everyone, welcome back to another vlog. I'm so excited to start today's vlog. It's kind of chaotic, I'm not gonna lie. I had an idea last night and it's kind of making me nervous because it is currently 1:10 p.m. I want to finish a book on my shelf or in my bookcase by the end of today. And today is Sunday. And if you're kind of like me, you make Sundays your reset days for the week ahead. So I need to meal prep. I haven't prepped any fruits or veggies. My laundry isn't done. I barely worked out, so I need to continue my workout. And I haven't even had lunch yet, and I need to actually cook up a meal. You guys know I've been looking at a cookbook, and so yesterday I did all my grocery shopping for meals that I know I'm going to love. That looks so delicious, and today is my first day eating more fruits and vegetables, and so far so good. I've had a smoothie, I've had a morning tonic booster, I haven't even had coffee, and I'm really surprised that I'm still kind of feeling energetic, but it must be the natural fruits and their sweetness that's kind of keeping me going. So yeah, today is just overall chaotic, and last night I was trying to do some research on Libby to see if there's an audiobook that I can listen to while working that I also have on my shelf as a paper copy in case I want to switch over. That was a challenge. I did not realize that most of my books on my shelf are like 12 hours or more, which clearly I don't have that amount of time. So I was looking for something that was like 10 hours or less that I knew was doable. And I found a book, you guys, on Libby that I'm so excited to start. I've had this on my shelf for quite some time, and for some reason it kind of intimidates me because the main character is in her 60s, and I've never read a book where the main character is pretty much over the day of 40, which is kind of crazy to me. And I feel like I need to start branching out more and hearing different POVs with people who are walking very different paths of lives in regards to age. Now, the book in question is called It's Not All Downhill From Here, a novel by Terry Mcmillan. I know Terry Mcmillan has another book out because I saw it in Barnes & Noble, and I'm hoping that if I fall in love with this book, I'm going to want to gravitate and pick up her other books. So I'm really excited. This book is a contemporary fiction. This is technically like women's chick lit. This has some romance, I believe, and our main character, her name is Loretha Curry, is about to celebrate her 68th birthday. Now, Miss Loretha Curry is pretty much the 68-year-old that I aspire to be. She is full of life. She has a beauty supply empire. She has a loving husband. She has a huge friend group. As you can tell, her friends, I don't know which one actually is going to be Loretha, but you just know that she has a loving group of friends, and she is just one of those people that tries to get rid of the stereotype that, you know, once you're kind of over like the age of 30, it's kind of all downhill, especially if you're 68, you're approaching your 70s, like, slow down, grandma. Like, she's basically trying to get that out of people's heads and saying, no, you still have a long and fulfilling life. However, in this book, she encounters an unexpected loss in her life, and she's trying to come to terms with it. And it kind of sets off a lot of thoughts and emotions because she is at an age where I think you do start getting a little bit scared of aging. Now, it says here that Loretha will have to summon all of her strength, resourcefulness, and determination to keep on thriving, pursue joy, heal old wounds, and chart new paths, with a little help from her friends, of course. So I just feel like this is going to be a very touching novel with a good insight into how family and friends will be there every step of the way with you, especially when you're grieving and dealing with loss because of age, I think. So I'm really excited to start this, and also I'm excited because the author, Terry Mcmillan herself, is going to narrate. So I haven't really had that experience yet. I think Crying in H Mart was one of the only audiobooks where the author actually narrated the book, and I personally really loved it. I think authors, you know, they obviously know exactly how their book is supposed to be read. So the fact that I'm going to hear Terry Mcmillan herself narrate her own book with all the thoughts, love, and emotion that I know she will portray just gives me like a really warm feeling. So yeah, this book is going to be the book that we start and finish today. I'm super excited, but for now, I'm really hungry. So we're gonna go downstairs, basically make some lunch. I'm gonna have a cauliflower shawarma. I think it's shawarma. It's a plant-based Indian inspired dish that I cannot wait to have. I pretty much had all the ingredients on hand anyways, so all I really had to do was just buy fresh produce. So I'm really excited to start that and eat it. And then I'm going to start prepping dinner for tonight. I think the milanesa has been thawed for Alex. I'm not entirely sure. And then I'm also going to have a plant-based dinner myself, so it shouldn't be that long for me to make. I can't remember if I'm going to do the spaghetti or there's another dinner dish that I was supposed to make. Can't remember. We're gonna figure it out once we get downstairs.
I saw the flashes in the dark, colors on the wall, bright against the monochrome, where I felt so small. I drew the curtains up, pulled away the blinds, heard a rushing wind through the windows of my mind, and I began to glow with a love divine. Shine, 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 shine in the naked light of Adonai. Shine, 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 shine in the golden gaze of the mighty eye. When I was a boy, rolled up like a cigarette, the jacket didn't fit quite yet, the leather made me sweat. Over time I shook it off, turned to face the breeze. I learned to see it all at once, God in the little things. Shine, 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 shine in the naked light of Adonai. Shine, 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 shine in the golden gaze of the mighty eye. There's a darkness in the mind, it clouds like smoke, it lingers in the corners, it slides like a ghost. There comes a light from behind, beaming up from the unknown, dancing with my shadows, illuminating everything. I can see the glow from a love divine. Shine, 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 shine in the naked light of Adonai. Shine, 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 shine in the golden gaze of the mighty eye.
kind of slowing down on eating the salad. I have about halfway of it to go. It is phenomenal, you guys. The flavors are so impactful. I did kind of like this like creamy Caesar salad dressing, homemade with cashews. You guys saw the process. Super, super easy. I have romaine lettuce in here and the turmeric, the garlic powder, the onion powder on the potatoes and the chickpeas. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is so good. But because of the potatoes and chickpeas, this is actually a very fulfilling salad. So for the past like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, I have been like slowing down, and I don't know if like I can store this in the fridge. I don't know if it's gonna wilt the romaine or if it's gonna be like even better. I don't know. So I'm gonna kind of like just leave it and slowly consume it when I feel like it. But I really want to work out soon, so I'm gonna take a little break from it. However, okay, I have a reading update for you guys. It's not much, but it's only the first chapter. So I have been listening to the audiobook, and we are about to be on chapter 2, which is page 29. And first and foremost, let's talk about Terry herself being the narrator. She is so amazing, you guys. She is making this such a wonderful experience for me. She is so good at narrating her own characters, especially the main character, Loretha. Oh my gosh, Loretha seems like an independent badass of a woman who has all of these opinions, super successful, has a very loving relationship with her husband, and I feel like for the most part has a very balanced and touching life. However, she does have some complications with like family and friends. She does have a daughter and a son, but her daughter Julissa isn't really in the picture as much, or at least she says that they don't really talk. She is alcoholic. She seems like she may be abusing drugs, and they haven't really spoken in a year. But this is on the day of Loretha's birthday, and so she's kind of in this process where she doesn't want to admit to herself that it is kind of hurting her that her own daughter hasn't said happy birthday to her. She hasn't called her, she hasn't done anything. So it's like she's just afraid to admit it. And we do get to see a little bit of her friends, just a little bit by what she has described them as. And you know, they just all have their different personality traits, and she kind of goes into the history of their friendships. And it's so cute. She was like, you know, some of our friendships have lasted longer than like spouses and stuff like that, and they've just been together through everything, and it's like they're just in the thick of it with each other. And so it's just really cute. However, we have gotten to the point where we encountered an unexpected loss, and I think at this point we are going to essentially start the book of how this is going to affect both, I guess, positively and negatively towards Loretha. This is definitely something that's like close to home, and I'm really curious to see how she is going to react to something such as eventful as this, and what she's going to think about it, and how she's going to continue living her life, where again, age is now kind of working against her and her friend group and her family members who are, you know, around her age. And yeah, I'm just really curious. I'm about to start chapter 2, and I can't wait to dig into this book further. But for now, I'm going to let my tummy rest while listening to the audiobook, and then probably go downstairs. I don't know if I'm going to take pre-workout or not. Maybe not. And then just stay on the treadmill for like 30 minutes or so while listening to this audiobook. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a little baby update about how the book has been so far, and I will see you next time. Hey everyone, I have a reading update for you guys, but I thought it would be more beneficial to do this while cooking. So I am making a spaghetti with simple garlic basil tomato sauce and macadamia parmesan. This is going to be my dinner for the next few nights. It says it serves 4, so hopefully it'll be good for the next few days. And I'm really excited to try it. I have all my ingredients in front of me. But while I am doing this, I am going to chit chat with you guys. I am currently on chapter 6. And you guys, I kind of messed up, so I paused it. I took a little nap. I was getting, you saw that? I was getting a little headache, and I took a nap, which means that I have 7.5 hours exactly left, and it's 5:02. I kind of set myself up for failure, but I'm going to do as much reading as possible today, even though we're not probably going to finish this, because there's no way I'm staying up until midnight or even later just to finish this. But I promise you that when I start my next vlog, I'm going to chit chat about the ending. So yeah, today is just more of a Sunday reset with a little bit of reading, and so far I am so enjoying this book. It doesn't even feel like a book, to be honest. It kind of feels like real life, like a memoir, and I know it's not because this is completely fiction, but that's how it's reading. By the way, I am chopping some garlic, so that is what I'm doing first. It is reading really well. Terry Mcmillan has such a way with words. Like literally it feels like just normal conversations, exactly as if they're like in the room with you and you feel like you're a part of the grown-ups table. That's exactly how it feels. And it's kind of funny to say this, but I feel like I'm learning a lot about just, you know, gradually getting older and what it means for your family, yourself, your friends, how people see you, how you see yourself. And it's kind of an eye-opening experience, you know, especially when death is around the corner and then you start kind of freaking out because, you know, there might be complications with your health. And if you're lucky, like our main character, so Loretha, but we're gonna call her Lo, that's her nickname. She has diabetes, but she just got it, and the doctor's like, you need to exercise, you need to eat healthy, and you need to stop playing around because diabetes is no joke, and it could really lead to a bad lifestyle. And if you're not, you know, doing what you're supposed to do, it, you know, could lead towards you ending your day. And so she's really stubborn as a character, and when she heard that, she wanted to prove her doctor wrong. So I really hope that we're going to get more of that. But because of unexpected loss, I'm not going to go into actually who she lost, but just know that someone really close to her was lost. I feel like if I say it, it's not necessarily a spoiler, but I feel like it's something that you need to experience as the reader when reading this book. And so there have been other deaths not related to her, family, friends, or anything. Just kind of, you know, you hear about people from through the grapevine of, oh, did you hear that so-and-so, you know, passed away? Let's go to, you know, let's go to their funeral, stuff like that. And right now, we kind of have her and her friend group talking to each other, you know, having a connect. And now they're like super scared because, you know, they want to make sure that what they're doing in their life is positive and that it would lead them to a longer lasting life. And so they're all asking each other, hey, like, did you make sure to do this? Are you exercising? Are you controlling your diabetes, Lo? And of course Lo just started, so she did technically lie because she is embarrassed to tell her friends that she hasn't been monitoring her diabetes and that she hasn't stopped eating fast food and double cheeseburgers and french fries and stuff like that. And so I'm really excited to kind of see, hopefully, a shift in her mindset when it comes to her own health and seeing her kick it up a notch, basically. We do have some other interesting characters besides her friends. So we meet a man named Kwame, who is her husband's son. He is living with her right now, and this is kind of a new relationship. She never knew that her husband had a son from a previous relationship. And this man is older. He is in his 20s, and he is living a new life, a fresh start with the help of, I guess you would say this is his stepmom. So that's going really well. So she has a youth in her house, which I think is positive in this case, and she's getting to know him a little bit better. We have her mom, who is in a retirement nursing home. It seems like she has dementia or something similar, maybe Alzheimer's, because she is very forgetful, but she seems like she's such a strong and powerful lady, and I can definitely see where our main character gets her stubborn, independent personality from. In addition to that, one of the biggest things that we do see from our main character is, you know, she does have her beauty empire. She has multiple stores in California, doing very, very well for herself. Her husband owned a contracting job, or like a construction company, and they're doing very well. And what you have noticed is that some of her family members, you know, including her daughter, rely on her financially, and she is a very giving person. Although she doesn't like to be sometimes, it's just the fact that, you know, people go to her knowing that she can help them financially through whatever struggle they may have. Also, this book does deal with a lot of trigger warnings. So this book does talk about drugs and alcohol addiction, and it kind of, I wouldn't say really kind of touches the topic, but because this is almost like an everyday conversation type of book, like you literally feel like you're at the grown folks table, you hear them talk about, you know, family and their abuses, and you know, not everything's perfect. They seem, both her and her friend have a complicated life, you know, messy family, a love-hate relationship with it. And so we get to see a lot of dynamics in this book, in particular to not only aging and death and what that means for the individual at her age, but also, you know, family and getting close to one another. And you know, what if you're not as close to, you know, your children as you think you should, or having friends who are just as stubborn as you and can cause you a lot of grief and a lot of pain, but at the end of the day, you know that you have each other's backs. I just really am loving the fact that this book really kind of resembles reality as close to it as possible. You know, I've definitely known people kind of in the same circumstance in real life, and it's just really refreshing, I think, to see a book like this that doesn't sugarcoat anything. I love that about our main character. She does not sugarcoat anything. She may lie a little bit, you know, but most of the time she does not sugarcoat her feelings, her thoughts. And I think that's something that you hear it a lot with the older generation about, you know, I'm too old to refrain or filter myself. And I think that's one thing in this book that I've definitely seen is, you know, the older you get, it seems like the more you care about your own opinions versus others. And I think that that's actually very powerful. And I think us, the younger generation, you know, likes to not step on people's toes, and we do things that may not benefit us because it makes us uncomfortable if we want to speak up for ourselves. And that's a note or a part of this book that I have definitely been listening to. So yeah, I have just been loving this book quite a lot. The writing is super quick and easy and fast-paced because it is very conversational. I think that in regards to characters, we do see a lot of characters and their development and their wants and their needs, and I think that that's what's making this book stick out to me. And I definitely think, you know, this is a book that I'm probably going to take with me for the rest of my life, to be honest. Already, you know, I'm not even done with the book, but I can tell that there's going to be a lot of life lessons to learn from this book, from this author who is older than me. I don't know how old the author is, but just to get her sense of wisdom and knowledge about living and enjoying life as much as possible, including the complications and the messiness of it. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. There are going to be some gloomy, cloudy days. But I think with a book like this, you can definitely learn how to heal from those days and to protect yourself, and, you know, to be grateful for, you know, actually those days, because you just know that it's going to lift up towards the end. So I am done chopping up my garlic. I have a yellow onion that was roughly chopped. Now I'm going to bring a large pot to boil with some salt, and then I'm going to add some pasta. I have this gluten-free spaghetti pasta. This is from Sprouts. So if you're wondering where I got all my groceries, I got them from Sprouts. Some of them are actually from H-E-B because I've had them, you know, for a longer time, but this is the Delano brand. This is my first time trying gluten-free pasta. So I'm really curious to kind of see how this is gonna go, but I think it'll be absolutely delightful. One thing that I'm doing with my health is trying out foods that I know that I have already loved. Like spaghetti, right, is a huge comfort food. I think if I can ease my way into incorporating veggies and fresh fruits into things that I already know and I'm going to enjoy, I think it'll be much easier for me to incorporate more stuff on the regular and make those meals more superb and spectacular and fresh and herby. So yeah, that was a great start to my reading journey with this book. I know that this book is going to be very insightful, and yeah, I'm gonna finish up here and we'll report back to you later on.
Brown and white rice and the fortune cookies, at least 10 of them. I was praying I'd pick a good one. Is Poochie joining us this evening?
Hello, welcome to my floor, welcome to my bookshelves. I thought that it would be kind of interesting, change it up a bit with me talking to you guys in a different part of my office. I mean, there's really not that many places to film, but I thought that sitting here would just be like a different vibe, and I'm so glad I picked this choice. I have been standing on my feet for hours, you guys. I have been cooking. You saw I made my spaghetti from scratch. I made Alex's food, which I don't think you would find exciting because I make it all the time. It's a staple in our household. I have been reading. I apologize that I have not updated you. It has been a few hours. It is currently 8:11 p.m. So yes, time has gone by so quickly, but I've literally just been cooking nonstop, and finally I've had a chance to breathe. Everything is done. Everything is complete. And pretty much all that has to be done is me finishing up this book, which I am 69%, I'm almost 70% done. I have literally this much to go, so not that much. And I think I could do it, you guys, today. I'm really hoping. I think it's like 11:15, 11:30 is my estimated time to finish this, just depending on how quickly I can talk to you all. I'm really trying to finish this book today. And oh my, this book, you guys, this book is superb. I am so glad that I started this. This book is about life just in general and how complicated, tragic, but yet fulfilling life can be all at one go. And I have been feeling so many emotions with this book. I have been happy. I have been sad, like wanting to actually tear up with this book. I have felt hope, and I have felt joy and anger and sadness, and it's just all wrapped up. And the thing is with this book, which I said before, is this book really feels conversational. I feel like I am a part of this girl group, even though I am much younger than them. I just feel for the characters. They're so passionate, and each of them are not some dull character on the page. They have their own life, their own personalities, their own family, and I feel so honored to honestly see a glimpse into their lives, let alone Loretha, our main character. She is such a stubborn but brilliant woman. As a main character, she has her ups and downs. You know, she has been diagnosed as a diabetic, and we kind of get to see her, I mean, not kind of, we do get to see her struggle with knowing that she's a diabetic, but having such a difficult time trying to create a pathway or a journey to kind of get her out of the diabetic lifestyle, which is very, very hard. And you get to see her kind of battle within herself of, oh, I can't eat this, but I want to eat this, or I'll start tomorrow, or you know what, I'll start tonight, but then life creeps up on her. And on top of that, we have Jaleesa, who is one of her kids. She is her daughter, and she has had such difficulty battling alcohol, probably drugs, and you get to see how Lo really wants to step up and be a mother to someone who doesn't even know how to help herself, and she hardly recognizes her own daughter. Now, her son and his wife or girlfriend Cinnamon have two twins, and they are the complete opposite of Jaleesa's situation. They were a little bit on the wrong path, but ever since Cinnamon had her two twins, which are the most adorable babies in Lo's eyes, they have just come up and literally taken life by the reins and have become responsible adults, responsible parents, living life to the best of their abilities and following their dreams. And it is so nice to see, and so Lo is so proud of them, which makes you as the reader proud of them as well. And of course we have her friends, and I love the way her friends are written. I wish I could meet these people in real life. Obviously I can't, they're characters, and I think the closest person would obviously be the author Terry, who if I could have lunch with or dinner with, I would absolutely enjoy that, because I feel like part of her personality has been written into these characters. I just feel it, and I feel like she is such a strong woman who has so much wisdom. Like, I would just love to talk to her about life, about, you know, her experiences, and like getting any advice that I can from her, just because Lo seems like that type of person as well. She may have some ups and downs in her personal life, but I feel like she's someone that you can learn from and greatly appreciate any advice that they give. Now, the one thing I wasn't expecting about this book is, one, you feel every emotion with this book. You feel sorrow, you feel joy, you feel sadness, you feel happiness, you feel tragedy, all just within these small amount of pages that make up this book. And another thing that I wasn't expecting, so on the synopsis it does say, you know, unexpected loss happens, and I thought it was going to be one unexpected loss. This book actually has many, and it really has been hurting my heart reading this, because you have to grapple with the idea that, you know, not everyone in this book that you're attached to is going to make it towards the end. And I'm not going to give, again, any spoilers or hints as to who those people are, but recently, within literally the past couple of pages, we had another unexpected loss and turn of events, and my head is trying to wrap around it. This one hits really hard because this is a character that I was really starting to warm up to and really starting to like. And so now we're kind of at this point where the girls don't really know how to continue. I feel like there's so much grief happening within this personal friend group that together they're kind of stuck, they're kind of confused, they're kind of lost of, you know, where to take it from here. And it's very nerve-wracking. It's very scary to know that, you know, eventually in real life, you know, you're gonna hopefully get to a ripe old age where, you know, you're almost 100 years old and you have your friend groups and you have your family, and you know, life happens, but also death can occur. And this book, I think, kind of shows a glimpse into the age range where, because of your age, you know, you can be here one second and not here the next. And I'm really starting to see how this friend group is grieving and kind of the next steps and what they do to cope with it all and to find meaning in life. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm hoping that nothing tragic happens in the last few pages, because honestly I don't think my heart can take it, but I'm excited because there's so much potential that this book holds, and I feel like already we have gained so much from this book that, like, I wouldn't even be mad if the last part of this book was a little bit less. It would still hold a high rating in my eyes. So I'm really hoping that no grief, no unexpected loss occurs. I hope now we're kind of on the come up, and I just pray that the ending is going to be the ending that this book deserves. I know that's kind of silly to say, but I was not expecting this book to bring out so many emotions and to feel so lifelike, to feel so real, like this is a diary and not necessarily a book. So anyways, I am going to stop rambling. I need to finish this book. I've already been talking for a long time. So I am going to continue my audio, probably lay down or something like that, kind of relax, let my food settle, and power through. Guys, I finished It's Not All Downhill From Here by Terry Mcmillan, and I finished in record time. It is only 10:32 p.m. if you can believe that. This book, oh my god, I rated it 5 stars, and I am so glad that this book popped into my life today and I was able to finish it. I mean, I could not put this book down. I think the ending was absolutely exquisite. I think it was superb. I think it was the perfect ending, and honestly, I could not have asked for a better ending. I think it really did what it was supposed to do to finish a complicated book just like this one. I mean, this book had so many ups and downs when it came to emotions. It had a lot of complex and heartbreaking moments, but on the other hand, there were some joyous moments dealing with love, family, and friendship. And I was kind of nervous as to how this book was going to end, because I feel like for such a strong and powerful book such as this one, I feel like sometimes endings can be the make it or break it moment of how this book will be for you for the rest of your life, basically. This is definitely going to be a book that has a place in my memory forever, basically. I feel like this book was so touching, and I feel like it was very delicate when it came to the topic of age. And I've definitely opened my eyes a little bit more because of this book in regards to aging, and just simply knowing the fact that although aging can come with a lot of complications and a lot of complex issues that I think every human being obviously will one day come across, whether it's death of a loved one, retirement, or starting a new career, starting a new business, dealing with a lot of health issues, a lot of productivity issues, even dealing with romance and love, because I think a lot of us have this stereotype of an old person and how they're not supposed to enjoy loving moments, whether that be emotional or physical love. And I think we get to see a lot of that in this book. There's a lot of funny moments. We have a lot of characters who are just quite funny in this book, and I just have to say, sex was mentioned a lot in this book. Although there's no you know, steamy scenes, I think this book did a very clever job at, you know, dropping it every once in a while to remind you that, you know, just because you're in the older age range does not mean that your sex life or any intimate moment of your life has to be extinguished. And I think that that was honestly a breath of fresh air. And yeah, I just think this book was so phenomenal. It was definitely beautiful, and I follow Terry Mcmillan on Goodreads, and I realized she has been writing books since the 90s. I think the earliest was 92 that I saw, and it was called Waiting to Exhale. And I did see a lot of comments about how that was a very popular book, and I think it's part 1 and part 2. It's like part 1 was in 92 and I think part 2 was in 2010, or that's according to Goodreads. I don't know how accurate that is, but she doesn't just have those books, she has several more. And I really thought I saw a new one in stores, but it must have been one of her older books, because this is technically a 2020 novel. This is her latest novel, and it seems like she creates a novel every few years. So I feel like I have a lot more waiting to do, especially if she's planning on writing anything after this. I really hope she does. But regardless of that, I do want to pick up one of her other books. I don't know if it's going to be the Waiting to Exhale series or one of her standalones. I don't know, but if I am in love with her writing for this book, I just know that her earlier writings I'm probably going to love just as much. And another thing before I end this vlog, this has definitely opened my eyes to reading more books with an older age range. I did not know how fascinating and how eventful it could be reading in a POV that is 40 plus years my age, and quite frankly, I want more of it. I wish we had more books that had a wide array of age ranges. I feel like we don't really have that in our society, with any books actually showcasing older generations, especially older women. I feel like this is a really small market that I wish was big. And on top of it, I know I haven't spoken too much about it, but this book does cover a lot of grief and a lot of loss. So I just want to say that and forewarn you that if that's something that you have a hard time dealing with, and just take your time with this book. Take it very slow. There are some very hard-hitting moments that our main character Lo has to go through. So I just want to forewarn you guys, in case you do want to read this book, that there is addiction problems, there, particularly drinking, there is death, and many more complicated subjects, but those are the main ones that I think really stand out to me, that are or were very hard for me to, you know, just come to terms with and to read. You always want to have high hopes for the characters that you read about, especially the main POV, and it's always a struggle to see when the main POV is struggling, dealing with grief and heartache. And so yeah, I just wanted to come across and say that this book was phenomenal. I'm so glad, like I said before, that I read this book today. This has literally been my entire Sunday, through everything, cooking, not really cleaning. I did not get too much cleaning at all, you guys, which I know I did that to myself, but I spent a lot of time cooking and just reading and listening. And honestly, I'm not going to beat myself too much about it. I'm probably going to just do whatever I need to do tomorrow. I think this is well worth leaving all of that to the side, all of that on the back burner. And yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this very short but productive vlog. I would rather say it was a 10-hour audiobook. I'm so shocked and impressed at myself for finishing it. And yeah, I just really enjoyed doing this vlog. I know that this was, I think, very different from my other vlogs because this one is rather short, but I do want to have some variety of reading vlogs, some that are long, some that are short. I know some people prefer one versus the other, and yeah, this is just gonna be a random short one-day vlog, but we got some reading done. One book has been read off of my shelf, and we're gonna continue to add to my read pile because this whole bookcase honestly is a TBR shelf. So anyways, you guys, I am really excited that you stuck it out. I really hope that you pick up this book wherever you are and immediately start reading it. Let me know your thoughts if you decide to do so. And as always, if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video. It really helps my channel. And as always, I will have my social media listed down below in case you want to follow me on other platforms. But for now, I will see you in another video. Bye.